playing Blackwings in 2024? It's more likely than you think. Did you know that Power Pro Lady Sisters exists? It's basically a normal monster version of Harpy Lady Sisters. I mean, look at the stats and the levels. But why does this exist? To be like a cuter version of them? Oh, hi. It's me, Ghost with Knife, perusing random cards in Master Duel instead of actually recording content. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I know it's been like another 2 weeks without content, but I'm just struggling a lot in my real life right now, and it's been really hard to do anything games-wise. I mean, I D-ranked back to silver for crying out loud. So I figured today was a perfect day to try out a deck of Winged Beast monsters. No, it's not those god-awful Harpy monsters. Today, we're playing Blackwings. This deck came from the Synchro era and used to be a top deck back in like 2011. So why am I randomly playing it now? Because since I'm such a low rank, I figured why not bring a new deck to the channel that I'm not skilled with and see how it goes. The entire idea of Blackwings is essentially to Synchro summon into the Black-Winged Assault Dragon to cripple your opponent's ability to use monster effects. It's a Synchro deck that has a lot of really powerful starters, like Simoon and Sudri, that allow you to chain summon a bunch of different Blackwing monsters until you eventually land on Blackwing Assault Dragon. It typically has you going from Simoon into Sudri to normal summon Vata, which lets you summon either Boreas Storm or the Black-Winged Dragon. And then you use both of those monsters to make one Black-Winged Assault Dragon. And then you use the two Synchro monsters in Grave to make another Black-Winged Assault Dragon, which makes your opponent take 1400 points of damage every time they use a monster effect. I typically dislike playing Synchro decks, but I figured some variety on the channel would be fun, and practice with a deck that I somewhat recognize would be interesting. So, without further ado, let's get to the games and see if I can actually get the hang of this deck's lines of play. Alright, let's get into our first game with Blackwings with a brand new duel field. Oh, look at this. This thing is so pretty. This is the Traptrix one, if you can't tell, which, you know, come on. It's me. Of course I'm going to grab this one. I love this deck. Also, this is just a really pretty field to look at. It's really nice, it's got a lot going on, so I'm all about it. Anyways, we're going second. My opponent has an unknown deck with, I think, 40 and 15, you know, the usual. And we've got an okay hand. It can do things, but can we do things is the real question. My opponent is going first. Oh. Set 3 pass. Could be like Labyrinth, maybe Unchained, maybe even Traptrix, who knows. They're going to go ahead and pass the turn to me, and oh boy, another small. That doesn't really help from this situation, but it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and use Small's effect to go ahead and grab myself a Black Feather Whirlwind, you know, deck thinning. I'm going to use Vada's effect, and my opponent is going to Ash Blossom my Vada. That is absolutely backbreaking because Vada is a core card for getting into your Blackwing and Assault Dragon. With this Ash in my current hand, I'm basically dead in the water, so I'm like, you know what? Forget it. It's fine. Let's go ahead and get some damage in. Doing damage to your opponent's life points is never a bad thing. We're going to go ahead and set the Infinite Impermanence and pass. It's my first game with the deck. Of course, I've got to see the strengths and weaknesses of it, and yeah, it's weak to Ash, but who cares? It's my first game. What could go wrong? Don't. And of course, in silver, my opponent is on Sky Striker. You know, the deck above a bunch of quick play spells that is really good at grinding you to dust with just a never-ending spam of link summons and powerful utility spells. I love to say this was the only time this session that I played Sky Strikers, but it's not. There were about 5 games against Sky Strikers, and this is the only one that I kept a recording of, because the others went on way too long, and honestly, I didn't have the patience for it, especially when I was learning a new deck. But it's fine. let's see what we can do. We do have 2 negates. Maybe we can stop them if possible. They're going to go ahead and use the Shard Cannon to banish my Shamal, which is a weird combo. Weird thing to do, but okay. They're going to go ahead and use Linkage to summon Hayate. They're going to go ahead and get in for 1,500 points of damage. They're going to send a Sky Striker from the deck to the graveyard. I don't know why I couldn't Ash this or even Impermanent. Maybe because it was in the battle phase. I'm not quite sure how that interaction works, but whatever, it's fine. So they're going to go ahead and Link Summon into Kagari, which is kind of yikes. They're going to go ahead and try to get a Sky Striker spell back from their graveyard to their hand. I'm going to go ahead and use Infinite Impermanence to just stop that nonsense. No, you do not get your crazy, powerful Link monsters and spells. They're going to go ahead and Link off of Kagari into Shizuku, which is a bit rough, but during their end phase, they're going to go ahead and try to grab another spell, and you know what? No. Eat my zombie girl's feet. Oh, called back. You know what? I was just kidding. Actually, you can tell my little girl to shut up, and you know what? You can take your spell back. Why not? Who cares? I don't need you to do that much grinding nonsense, but you know what? It's fine. Who cares? Oh. This hand does things. So from this position, we're in a really bad spot. I can't really get to my 6s and my 8s, which is the core cards. They're the core levels I need to get to in order to Synchro Summon and do my big combo lines, but it's fine. I do have Shamal, which is a tuner, and I do have a level 3 monster. I'm going to go ahead and try to use Vata's effect to go ahead and just start the Blackwings Dragon line, and of course they're going to affect Veiler, because why wouldn't they have it? I'm going to go ahead and silence my Vata, but it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Shamal, which is going to get us into the old school Blackwing champion, the old school Blackwing Armor Master. Can't be destroyed by battle, takes no battle damage from attacks involving this card, and at the end of the damage step, if it's attacked, you can put a wedge counter on that card, and you can remove all wedge counters from your opponent's monsters. The attack and defense of those monsters becomes 0 until the end of the turn. Doesn't really hold up in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, but this used to be a beast back in 2011, and you know what? He's back, and he's here to punch your stupid Sky Strikers in the face. Because we Synchro Summon, we can go ahead and use Black Feather Whirlwind to grab another monster from the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and use Shamal's effect to put the Collude back in hand in case I have to protect my life points or any sort of nonsense. From here, I don't agree that Vata and Shamal are tuners, but it's fine, because I can go ahead and use them to grab Little Knight using their Link Zone. They're going to go ahead and Imperm my Little Knight so I can't banish their monster. That's fine. I'm just going to walk over it with Blackwing Armor Monster, and I'm going to punch you in the face with Little Knight. This is a great position because now if they try to special summon stuff, I can banish Little Knight and their monster until the end phase, and they can't use that monster to do their link chains and try to grind me out. So I should, quote unquote, have this in the bag. My opponent sees the writing on the wall and decides, you know what? You got it, which is the appropriate thing to do when faced with the threat known as Blackwing and Armor Master from 2011. Okay, getting here in our next game, we're going second again, which is not ideal for Blackwing. You really want to go first to set up your Assault Dragon, but it's fine, as my opponent plays a face-down monster and ends their turn. It's great, though, because we draw Sudtree, which is one of the best starters, and honestly, my favorite card in the deck. Not just because he looks kind of, making me act up a little bit, but also because he's just really good because he allows us to go into Vata, which is going to start our entire combo line. We're going to use Vata, and my opponent tries to max C, which is normally a death sentence for a Synchro deck. They can just draw and draw and draw until they get some sort of answer. But as you know, we make bugs eat children's feet in this household. Get Ash Blossom, you stupid roach. Get out of here. And with that, my opponent just decides, you know what? I've had enough. Yeah, typical Maxi player just gets ashed and leaves. Okay, so we're going first this time, and hopefully we can showcase the combo, and it looks like we have just about everything we need for the combo. We're going to go ahead and try and start by using Sudtree. Our opponent's going to go ahead and ash this, which is normally pretty bad because we need Sudtree to get us Vata, but it's fine in this situation because we have Vata and Shamal in hand. So we're going to go ahead and special summon Vata, and we're going to use Shamal's effect to grab ourselves the Black Feather Whirlwind, which whenever we Synchro summon a dark monster, we can get a Blackwing monster from our graveyard or banished back to the field so we can keep the summoning going. This is a very core part of getting to your Blackwing and Assault Dragon true first turn setup. So from here, we're going to go ahead and use Vada's effect to put Vada in the grave and a Simoon from the deck to go ahead and summon the Black-Winged Dragon, which is going to allow us to resummon Vada, which we are then going to synchro with Sudfree to make Boreas Storm. Boreas Storm has an interesting effect, is that when it's synchro summoned, you can take any Blackwing monster from your deck and send it to the graveyard, and his level becomes the exact same as that monster's. He's also a tuner, which is really, really powerful, meaning now we have 2 synchro monsters. One of them is a tuner, and we just made that tuner level 2 by sending one of our level 2 Blackwings from the deck to the graveyard. I'm going to go ahead and use Shamal's effect from the graveyard to go ahead and grab some Moon in case something happens. Probably shouldn't, though. We're going to go ahead and send Sharnga from the deck to the graveyard to make Boreas Storm at level 2, which gives us the Blackwinged Assault Dragon. And fun fact, Blackwinged Assault Dragon can special summon itself from the extra deck by banishing a tuner synchro monster and a Black-Winged Dragon from your face-up field and or graveyard. So basically, if you summon one Black-Winged Assault Dragon through synchro, you can almost always guarantee getting a second one, and now your opponent just has a terrible time. Every single time they activate a monster effect, they're going to be taking 700 damage from both of our Black-Winged Assault Dragons, meaning they take 1400 damage for just activating a monster effect, giving them very limited room to work with. And because we've got both of them in defensive storm or defense position, we get past Lightning Storm outside of like maybe Raigeki, which might be in silver, I don't know. But this is a pretty solid board to end on, especially with an Ash Blossom in hand. Let's see what my opponent can do. My opponent is on Ninjas, which is a pretty fun deck, but for using that monster effect, they're going to go ahead and take 1400 points of damage. They're going to try to summon another monster and take another 1400 points of damage, which is absolutely backbreaking. My opponent is then going to try to summon Bison, and they can't really do anything from here, so they're going to go ahead and just pass the turn back to me, which is fine by me. I'm just going to put both of my monsters in attack, because I can't really do anything with the rest of my hand. I'm just going to beat my opponent's face in. They're going to go ahead and try to evenly match me here, and I'm just going to keep one of my Black-Winged Assault Dragons on the board. It's the best thing I can do. You can activate one monster effect, and that's it. And my opponent sees that, and just sees the writing on the wall, and goes, alright, I'm out. Alright, getting into our next game here, I'm going to first go again with a hand that has Simoon, so maybe I can finally try and showcase the Simoon combo here. I'm going to go ahead and use Simoon to grab myself a Black Whirlwind, and I'm going to grab Vata here, which is a mistake. If you grab Simoon, or if you have Simoon as your starter, and you use Black Whirlwind, if you don't have a Sudfree in hand, you should always grab Sudfree, because even though you used Simoon's effect to normal summon it, you can still normal summon again, and then you can use the Sudfree to start the entire line with Vata, and it's just a much easier time. I made a mistake though, and I don't realize it until right about now when I go ahead and use Vata's effect to use another Simoon to grab Black-Winged Dragon, and then from here I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and use Blizzard, the Far North's ability, to go ahead and grab Vata back, and then I can just use all of them to summon myself like a level 6 monster or something. I use Black Whirlwind's effect to go ahead and grab Chinook, which is technically a negate, and then after I bring back Vata, and I look at Blizzard, I realize my mistake is that Blizzard's a tuner. And you can't use 2 tuners to get a Blackwing monster. So from here, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So you know what? I'm just going to summon another Blackwing Dragon. That's really all I can do from this position. It's a pretty weak board, but whatever. Who cares? I'll take some effect damage, but it gets negated because Black-Winged Dragon, which I can use to try to neuter my opponent's effect. My opponent is... Excuse me? Dance Princess of the Ice Barrier and Vampire Kingdom. Either my opponent is cooking up something fierce, or this is a masochist deck. More than likely it's masochist, but it's fine, whatever. Vampire Kingdom actually is really good against Vata, because it makes... Basically what happens is, if I put anything from my deck to the graveyard, they can target a card on the field, which could be my Black-Winged Dragon or whatever else I want to summon, and then they send a vampire from the deck to the graveyard and get to destroy it, which can interrupt my combos if I don't keep that in mind. It's okay though. I'm just gonna go ahead and use what I've got, and we're gonna go ahead and get Shamal, and I am going to yet again not read my cards. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Black Feather Whirlwind. I'm gonna use the Blackwing Twin Shadow. Put 2 monsters back from my graveyard to my deck. It's going to go ahead and grab me the Silver Wind the Ascendant, which then I'm going to use in combination with Black Feather Whirlwind to resummon Shamal, and hey, guess what? Shamal's a tuner. It says it right there. Little, yeah, see that arrow? That tuner. I still can't use 2 tuners to make a big monster, so I can't go into Boreas Storm like I want. But it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the Blackwing Dragons and Vata to summon the Blackwing Full Armor Master, which is a pretty beefy boy by himself. He's unaffected by card effects, and when my opponent activates monster effects, they get wedge counters, and during my end phase, they can destroy all monsters that have wedge counters, and I can just flat out steal my opponent's cards if they have wedge counters. It's a pretty nasty card to deal with, but from this position, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and use Black Winged Dragon's effect to lower this monster's attack to get a little bit more damage in. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Full Armor Master, the Black Winged Dragon, and Silver Wind, the Ascendant, to just go ahead and close out this game nice and quick. So, I knew this was some sort of like masochist deck, but there's a lot going on with this one. We've got like actual Gate Guardian cards with actual Gate Guardian. Different, yeah. Condolence Puppet. What's their vampire card for their castle? Do they have one? I don't even like know. I don't like see one. The Legendary Fisherman 2. Okay then. Alright folks, I think I know what it's time to end on. It's time to end on the game that got me back into well, this is a this is a hand. 5 hand traps is there's going to be no starting, no combos with this, but it's okay because we're going second, so maybe we can stop my opponent, deaden their tracks. They're going to go ahead and use the Sunny Snitch. I'm going to go ahead and Ash Blossom that just because I don't want you to have that, actually. Just kidding. Lamau, get out of here with that nonsense. My opponent is going to go ahead and try to Lila. I'm going to go ahead and Defect Veiler, and oh. That's how I got to gold. Oh, okay. That was not as exciting as I hoped. You know what? I got a backup plan, don't worry. I got one more game for you guys before we get to the wrap-up. Alright, here we go. One last game before we end this little session, and we're going second with an okay hand. Ash Blossom's nice. And oh! We're playing Blue Eyes. This deck is always really fun to just pick on and bully because I hate Blue Eyes. And oh, we're going White Dragon, Jet, and up. Did my opponent just Dictator of D for a Blue Eyes White Dragon? Not Jet, the regular one, and then normal summon a Luster Dragon. This is what I came for in Silver. Not 5 games of Sky Striker. This is what I came for. Alright. The ultimate legendary dragon that's a powerful engine of destruction and virtually invincible? Let's put that to the test. I'm going to go ahead and I've got Simoon and Sidri in hands. I'm going to go ahead and use Simoon's effect to grab Black Whirlwind, which is a bit of a mistake. What I should have done before using Simoon's effect is using the other Black Whirlwind first, because technically from here I would have used my normal summon, which would have gotten me 2 monsters with Black Whirlwind, which is technically more efficient. But from here I'm going to go ahead and grab Chinook in case I need to negate a monster effect. I'm going to go ahead and correctly get the other Black Whirlwind, and from here I'm going to use Suntree and both of my Black Whirlwinds to get 3 cards from my deck to my hand. It's better than Pot of Greed. I know, it's absolutely insane. I'm going to grab Blizzard, which is a bit of a mistake here. I should have grabbed something else and just use this for my Vata combo. It's fine, whatever. We're going to go ahead and grab a Vata and a Twin Shadow. From here, I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Vata, use the Simoon, the Vata, summon myself a Blackwinged Dragon, and from here I'm like, okay, well I still need to get to Boreas Storm so I can play both of my Blackwinged Assault Dragons. So what I decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and use Suttri's other effect to tribute the Simoon that's already been used, which is going to give us a Phantom Glimmer token, which ironically is a level 2 tuner. And hey, 4 plus 2 is 6. You know what 6 is? 6 is Blackwinged Boreas Storm, which is the perfect way for us to get into our Blackwinged Assault Dragon. I'm going to go ahead and dump the Sharing Gear from the graveyard. From here, the Winged Dragon and Boreas Storm is going to make Blackwinged Assault Dragon, and because we Synchro summoned it, we can go ahead and get a second one. Have fun getting heavily taxed. I'm going to go ahead and attack, and they're going to go ahead and use the effect to control where my attack goes, and interestingly enough, even though this is a monster effect, it does not proc Blackwinged Armored Dragon. I'm not sure why. If you do, leave a comment below, because I'd love to see how this interaction actually works. We're going to go ahead and get rid of both of their monsters, rip through their life points, set ourselves a Twin Shadow, and Simoon's going to go ahead and make us just guard our other Black Whirlwind. It's fine. It's done its job. My opponent is going to summon... You know, Blue Eyes cards make me think there's a certain era of history that would really like these. Okay, Protector with Eyes of Blue, they're going to go ahead and try to use Successor Soul. They're going to tribute their Protector with Eyes of Blue, and they're going to try to tribute one of my Blackwinged Assault Dragons to special summon a level 7 or higher normal monster from the deck. And I'm like, okay, cool. Ash Blossom, get negated, nerd. No thank you, I don't want that nonsense. You don't need another Blue Eyes, and I'm just going to go ahead and chain Twin Shadow, even though that doesn't stop Called By, who cares. I'm going to go ahead and Twin Shadow another monster out. Guess what? It's Blackwing Full Armor Master! The incredibly hard to kill monster himself. Go ahead and try to attack into him with Blue Eyes. They're going to go ahead and use the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon to try and pump up their Blue Eyes so they can punish one of my monsters. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use Sharnga's Secret Effect. If you control a Blackwing Synchro monster, which we do in the Full Armor Master, as a quick effect we can banish this and just get rid of any one of my opponent's cards and just destroy it. Get out of here with that nonsense, please. So yeah, 4,000 attack Blue Eyes, more like you have no Blue Eyes. Take 1,400 while you're at it. And from here my opponent just kind of starts to get a little DC looking over there, and they actually wind up DC. Because, you know, the real king of the dragons is Blackwinged Assault Dragon. At least in this game. And with that last game bullying Blue Eyes out of the way, that brings a close to our session with Blackwings. What do I think of this archetype from 2011? It's not bad. I had fun actually getting used to the combos, and I never have a problem looking at Sutri. You beautiful, beautiful man. Sorry. Anyways, so yeah, it's a fun little Synchro deck. Synchro decks still aren't for me. I don't like having to chain summon like 13 monsters just to get an end board. Is ending on 2 Blackwinged Assault Dragons very powerful? Absolutely. Making your opponents pay 1,400 for every monster effect they activate is brutal, especially when you can negate their monster effects with stuff like Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, and Infinite Impermanence. But even with that said, this deck just really isn't for me. They were fun back in 2011, but nowadays there's just other things I want to do, like Sue ships or Zodiacs or even Sharks. But that's not to say that this is the last time we're going to see Blackwings on the channel. If you're a Blackwing fan and you think you've got a brew for me that will actually turn this deck from what I think is a mediocre Synchro deck into an absolute beast that can climb the ladder easily, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Give me some tips, give me a deck list. I'd love to try this deck again. After all, Sutri. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will try to be posting content as soon as possible. I do have something else planned for you guys in the future regarding Master Duel, and some other stuff on the way very soon. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you folks in the next episode.